I think tonight was about presenting a plan and a vision for the future of this country. I was the only leader up there who was detailing clearly a plan for investment in our country to give Canadians the help they need, the growth they need, and the future that we want to leave to our kids. I'm very pleased with how it went. Well, we know what Mr. Mulcair's plan is. Mr. Mulcair is going to suddenly realize, if he gets elected, that, the numbers are worse than we thought and we're not going to be able to keep our promises. That's a tried and true political tactic that I'm simply not going to engage in. I've looked at Canadians. I've said, we're going to run 3 modest deficits because it's the right thing to do, to invest in the communities that we have, to invest in the growth we need. That's what I'm focused on, and that's what was clear during this debate. Well, I think it's important that we're here in Calgary and highlighting that Mr. Harper has completely missed the opportunities, first to actually get pipelines to Tidewater. For 10 years, he's supposedly the best friend that the Alberta energy industry has ever had, and yet he's been an absolute failure because he doesn't understand that the only way to get energy projects built now is to understand that you cannot separate environment and economy. Not being able to get the public trust has hurt Alberta's economy and it's hurt Canada's economy. That's why we are proposing a much better relationship with the provinces and a much better process whereby we will earn the public trust to get our resources to market. It's one of the things that a Prime Minister is supposed to do. It's one of the things that Mr. Harper has failed to do. I'm focused on presenting to Canadians a strong plan, the right plan to grow the economy and to bring people together. Unfortunately, we've seen tonight, yet again, Mr. Harper playing the politics of division. The fact that he referred to something called old stock Canadians demonstrates that yet again he is choosing to divide Canadians against another and with Bill C-24 and others is undermining New Canadians' legitimacy. For the Liberal Party, for me, a Canadian is a Canadian is a Canadian, and it will always stay that way. Merci beaucoup. You know what, I'm going to leave it up to pundits to talk about who did what. I was proud to get our clear and strong plan to invest in this country, and ultimately Canadians will decide on October 19th.
And tell you this was an opportunity tonight for Canadians across the country to compare and contrast, to look at our long-term plan that is frankly responsible and it's sustainable and it's transparent because we've published our numbers and people know that it's prudent. And we can contrast that with Mr. Trudeau's short-sighted approach where we take everything for today and let tomorrow take care of itself, and we leave a massive debt on the backs of our children and grandchildren, and Mr. Harper's failed plan, because as you know, Brian, there are 300,000 more unemployed today than when Mr. Harper's first recession hit in 2008, and 400,000 manufacturing jobs have been lost. And when I hear him say that the auto parts sector might not be happy with the results of the Trans-Pacific Partnership negotiation, which is taking place right in the middle of an election campaign, which is a problem in and of itself, I'm worried for the 80,000 jobs in that sector as well. And so, you know, we've got to get back to a Canada that has jobs that are enough for a family to live on, where people can expect a decent pension at the end. Unfortunately, that's not Stephen Harper's Canada, but that's the kind of Canada I want to build. Well, you know, Mr. Harper seems to forget that the Conservatives were in power in this province for over 40 years, and Rachel Notley's got a very constructive, positive plan to start cleaning up some of the mess that was left here after more than 40 years of Conservative rule. And the province is in such a difficult situation right now because Stephen Harper has made a series of wrong-headed choices that have negatively affected all Canadians, including people here in Alberta. And I'm very concerned, and I understand the distress of the families here in Alberta. People have lost, that we've seen a lot of job losses. The economy as a whole has gone through great problems, but it's the people. You know, anytime you talk about a lost job, it's a family that's been affected. And I'm very concerned about the situation here, but we'll be a champion for the resource sector, but we'll make sure that the development continues responsibly and sustainably.